We promoted this news. It's from Forbes magazine. They say 11 states are in a death spiral. Their words, death spiral. No surprise that Illinois is on that 11-state list. The state has an estimated, listen to this, $233 billion pension obligation. So, what is Illinois doing? Putting a face on the problem, creating a cartoon snake named Squeezy the Pension Python. Stop laughing. When will they start taking this problem seriously? Because they're not now. Joining us now is Kristina Rasmussen from the Illinois Policy Institute. Okay, we've been through this 3-minute pension squeezy python video. They say that it's all the result of Wall Street crashing. That's why they're in so much pension trouble. I didn't hear anything about a plan to deal with this crisis. What are you hearing?
You're right. The lack of solutions on this new website from our governor is really stunning. Look, everyone knows we have a problem and we can debate over who's to blame, but we need real solutions now. And if a cartoon python is the best that our governor has to offer, we're in deeper trouble than we thought.
Now, in the absence of a real, solid, firm plan to deal with this enormous pension problem, are you saying that one of their options in Illinois is to go straight to D.C. and say, we need a bailout? We did, after all, vote for President Obama big time in the last election. Please give us a bailout. Do you think that's going to happen?
Honestly, it's an all too real possibility. The governor refuses to rule out asking or accepting a future federal bailout. And if we keep sitting on our hands and doing nothing, the problem is only going to get worse. And it's going to tee us up for a federal bailout. And it would be outrageous to ask the taxpayers of other states, folks who have their act together, to fix our politicians' mess.
But look, I've been saying this for a long time. I think a bailout request is going to come. I know they may be denying it, but I think it's going to come. In California, same situation. Illinois, same situation. Both voted for President Obama big time. I think a bailout request, at least, is coming. But absent that, what plan could they put in place in Illinois to deal with this pension plan? You got any ideas?
It's pretty simple what we need to do. We have to follow the lead of the private sector and transition into a defined contribution plan. Pensions, as we know it, are broke. Trying to fix our system would be like bailing out the Titanic with a Dixie cup. You've got to do right by state workers and taxpayers, and the best way to do that is a 401k style system.
But that wouldn't help now, would it? I mean, it might help, 15 years in the future, but it doesn't help now.
There are a number of things you can do right now to bring down our payments that are supposedly squeezing out other core services, like Squeezy points out. You can cap pensionable salary. You can get rid of COLAs until the system is fixed. Those are things you can do right now to bring down our current payments.
Why hasn't Governor Quinn done that?
Unfortunately, these ideas are not very popular with the government employee unions who've bankrolled his campaigns. And if they've come to him and say, we don't want these reforms, you don't see the kind of energy put behind the reform proposals that we really should be seeing.
So they're not prepared to make any kind of cuts. They are prepared to continue to see big cuts in education and healthcare, and they're quite prepared to go down the road and ask D.C. for a bailout. That's the situation.
And they're prepared for tax hikes. Remember that we passed a major tax hike last year in a lame duck session. It hit middle-class families hard. We're hearing rumblings they may try to make that tax hike permanent or take it even higher with a progressive income tax. Once again, putting the problem on the shoulder of our working families and our small businesses. It's an absolute disaster.
Extraordinary. Kristina, hold on for 1 second. I've got Jerry Willis with me. You got a comment?
I want to ask this question. One of the potential solutions here, you can't have people who are essentially the employees of the public making more than the public. That's part of the problem, is that typically what happens, public sector workers make more both in salary and benefits than the people who have hired them. That's just unsustainable, don't you think?
It is. Let's take the example of a teacher who's just about to retire after 30 years on the job. She's going to be earning a first-year pension of about $67,000. Over the course of her retirement, that's a payout of about $2.3 million. And a lot of that money is coming from struggling taxpayers who are trying to make the family budget eat much, try to save for their retirement, and they've got to fund that $2.3 million.
You've worked 30 years as a teacher, and you retire. You get $67,000 a year for life. What is the retirement age for teachers? Who put in 30 years? What is it?
Unfortunately, it's not high enough. Folks can retire in their 50s. A lot of folks go out in their 60s. We've got to take that to higher, 67.
Good luck with that. I don't think they'll stand for it. I think you're going for a bailout. That's what I think. Kristina Rasmussen, thank you very much for joining us. Please keep the commentary coming because we want to know about this bailout because I think it's coming. Kristina, thank you very much indeed. Thanks. President Obama